Select Board, with the hour being after 7 p.m. We'll get started as we do with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I will briefly announce that all the members will be participating remotely during the meeting due to the current pandemic in the Commonwealth. The governor has authorized remote participation for all public boards due to the emergency declaration order issued March 12th, 2020. Every vote that we will be taking by roll call vote. So we'll move right in here to the first item. We'll take a couple items out of order tonight just to keep it interesting for everybody at home. Jim, let's still start with that public hearing, then we can get into town meeting articles if that works for you.
Great, thank you. So what we have here tonight is a request of Eversource for grant a location to install a one snub pole on Common Street. I know Carl's been working on this. Carl, you're on. I see you there, Carl. You want to talk a little bit about this before? Ben, do we have to open the public hearing first?
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
And we'll need to take a roll call. So we will go in order. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark Gallivan?
Aye.
David Salvatore?
Aye.
And Jim O'Neill. Oh, I think you're muted there, Jim.
Aye.
Aye. And Ben? Aye. 5-0-0. We are now in a public hearing. Hello, Carl. Thanks for joining us tonight. Jim kicked you off there, so maybe you could give us a quick overview of what's before us.
To the chair, Carl Baldwin, town engineer. We delivered a correspondence to the board explaining the approval of the request by Eversource. It's a fairly simple request. It's a pole required on Common Street. This would be on the east side of Washington Street, so between Washington Street and Route 1, in front of house number 511, actually. The pole's required to eliminate a guy which is in a tree for the pole across the street. So the tree was helping support the pole. Eversource would like to eliminate that. They filed it. They've staked it in the field. We reviewed it. It's fairly simple. There's plenty of room in the right of way. The only thing that we were able to discover later in the game is that the water service for house number 511 is a little close. So we discussed this with Eversource, and we have recommended that the petition be approved actually 5 feet from where they requested, 5 feet further south. So other than that, it's routine. And Christine Crosby also well.
I think Carl got cut off at the end there, but Christine Crosby is also on the call. I think that's what I heard, Carl. And I could see that he's frozen. I guess we'll take any calls from questions from the board.
Yeah, that's fine. Christine, I know that you're on here. Did you have anything to add to what Carl said there before we open it to the board for discussion?
No, and if that's Carl's recommendation, we certainly will comply.
Great. Okay, thank you so much. All right, we'll go around to the board here. Nancy, any comment?
No comment. None.
Mark?
No comments.
David?
No questions or comments.
Jim?
Are we going to get an updated, I guess it'll be an as-built plan from Eversource on this?
That's something that we don't normally do, but if it's something that you would like us to do, we can do it.
Just given that we're moving the location of the guy, I think it'd be smart to have that documented in case there's any question about where it actually is.
Oh,
Go ahead.
we will definitely, I will definitely, put a request into Eversource Survey to have a revised plan drawn up to show the actual location of where the pole is going to be.
Great, thank you. I'm good, Ben.
And thanks, Jim. Carl, were you gonna add something there?
No, just what Christine said, that the plan will be revised and it'll be in order with this.
Okay, thank you, Carl.
Great. Thank you, Carl, and thank you, Christine. I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Proceed with a roll call vote to close the public hearing. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye, 500. The public hearing is now closed.
I'll make a motion to approve the request of Eversource to grant a, of location of a one stub pole and anchor on Common Street, and will include revised plans that will be submitted to the engineering office.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. We'll proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye, 500. The motion passes. All right, thank you, Christine, and thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so we'll move on to the first, let's see here. The fourth order under new business, which is to have a vote on the remaining town meeting articles. There are 3 articles that we have not yet discussed and addressed, and we're going to do so here to aid the town in getting out the packets to RTMs as swiftly as possible. Jim, do you want to go ahead and
Sure.
give us the outline?
So the 3 remaining articles are Article 2, which is the in-year budget adjustment. At this time, I recommended no action to the Finance Committee. The Finance Committee took up that action, and they are actually recommending no action also. The reason being is at this time, there's nothing really to address. There's 3 budgets I'm keeping a close eye on. That includes the fire department, because of an unexpected retirement there, payout, the Veterans Department budget because of Family Medical Leave Act issue that came up, and the Elections Division. The Elections Division, I think with the town clerk, Liz was able to successfully get a grant for about $8,900 at the end of last week, so I think that issue may be resolved on its own. So any of these other issues, I'd like to see how they kind of shape up during the year, and we could either address them through the reserve fund or through the May town meeting, probably under Article 5. So I'd recommend no action at this time.
I'll make a motion for no action, Article 2.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Proceed with the roll call vote in this article. If there's no further discussion, being that there is none. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye, 500. The motion passes.
The next 2 articles, Article 14 and 15. 14 is the stabilization, placing some money in the stabilization. Finance Committee recommended placing $3 million from stabilization from free cash into that account. It'll bring it up just over $8 million. And OPEB, Finance Committee recommended $250,000 to be placed in OPEB. The thought here is not being as aggressive as we have in the past, provide us with some greater financial flexibility for the, if needed in the spring, to allow us to roll forward just over $900,000 in free cash to address any deficits that could come up.
Great.
I'll make a motion for favorable action, Article 14.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, if I may.
Please, David.
Yeah, I think there was some discussion in the past about putting OPEB into the budget as an annual thing. I think it's better what we've been doing, which is trying to hit that 350 or, you know, or more, 350,000 or more every year. But this gives us, but I think this is the better way, is not to budget it every year so that we can do things like this and, you know, fund it a little less this year, maybe fund it a little more in a couple of years to make up for it. Just, it gives us some flexibility and you know, I think that was prudent on the part of finance to, you know, take a little bit off it this year and because there will be added expenses and other issues. So thank you for that, and the finance committee as well.
Yeah, I would agree, David. And I'd also point out to anyone who's listening at home who's interested in this, that there are very short, concise videos explaining all of these articles that have been posted to Walpole Media's YouTube page. And Mark Trudell, who's the chairman of the finance committee, does a very good job of stepping through both Article 14 and 15 and explaining what the finance committee's thinking was there. So being that there's no further discussion, we have a motion and a second. We'll proceed with the roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye, 5-0-0, the motion passes.
Thank you.
And Article 15. We get a motion on Article 15? We do both of them? No, not yet.
I'll make a motion. 15 is.
That's OPEB.
15 is open.
Okay, we did them. All
Separated.
right, I'm sorry. So, favorable, I'll make a motion, favorable action, Article 15.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Nancy. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on Article 15? Being that there is none, we'll proceed to the roll call vote on Article 15 for favorable action. Nancy?
Yes.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye, 5-0-0. The motion passes, favorable action.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, we'll now jump to item 1 under new business. So did we lose Carl? Or we did lose Carl, never mind. We'll just go forward being, oh no, Carl's there. All right, Carl. Item 1 under new business. You know, Carl is here. We had discussed as a board, I believe it was our last meeting, Jim O'Neill had brought up the Columbia Gas moratorium waiver, and it was 3 meetings ago that we had heard about that. There was a representative from Columbia Gas that came out. So Carl, if you could give us a brief update on the moratorium waiver and the information that you've gotten from Columbia Gas.
Correct, Mr. Chair, to the chair and to the board. I provided correspondence, which it had attached to it a letter from Columbia saying that they had withdrawn the request for the moratorium waiver that we discussed, I think, on August 12th. Those were for 13 Eleanor Road, 261 Stone and 180 Stone. And those requests were under a service replacement program that Columbia described as being new. In discussion, they indicated that there was some flexibility, and that was verified, and they subsequently withdrew. We would prefer that these things that these issues get ironed out before the requests are made. So we did meet with Columbia actually in the field and discuss that. So, and we generally discussed permitting procedures and communication so that we wouldn't be making superfluous moratorium requests. So we did have a good discussion. We still are looking to have coordination on that service replacement program so that we understand where they need to go to do these in towns, and we can hopefully sync their replacement program and our paving program so we will not have these things occur. We also discussed other issues so that we're trying, have a closer alignment of what Columbia wants to do and what we can permit, et cetera. So we did follow through those moratoriums that were asked for. They have expressed flexibility, so they will not open those roads until the moratorium's over. There are other places in town where leaks have more urgency, where they will have to do that from time to time. So just so the board and everybody understands, certain level leak, they have to respond immediately. Other leaks, they have, I think, 21 days. There's an even longer time period for lesser leaks, maybe even up to a year. I don't want to speak out of school because I'm not a Columbia, I'm not a gas expert. But anyway, those things were all described to us in the meeting. And so we're hoping that we can have a little bit better communication in our program. So
Great.
That's it. That's
Yeah. Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. At this time, is there anyone, any member of the board who has any questions or a point for discussion there? Jim O'Neill?
Yeah, so, thank you, Ben. Carl, part of the reason that we discussed this, I don't know, three meetings ago and didn't approve it was it was more than just a concern about opening the road, which clearly was a concern given the moratorium, but it was also a question about safety and whether deferring making these changes was potentially a safety issue. Did you guys talk about that with Columbia when you went through this, and is that something we can feel confident in with their decision to pull back the request, that there was no safety concern here?
We did discuss that through the chair, of course. We did discuss that, and they would not have withdrawn if they did not think that these priorities could be rearranged and obviously do it in a safe manner. So I'm going to trust them. They're the people that know their programs and whatnot. I'd certainly never recommend that we get in the way of safety on any of these policies, as important as maintaining the integrity of our paved roads are. I would never recommend getting in the way of doing something that they feel they needed to do for safety reasons.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Carl. I have the same view. So when they come back to us, again, safety aside, if there's a safety issue, they should just move post haste to fix it. But when they're coming back to us, because one of the other things we talked about was, were there other houses on the street that they were going to come back to us and ask again for, more moratorium lifting? So what my hope is that the discussions that you had with them are such that, first of all, they're aware of where we have moratoriums, and unless there's a safety issue, we're going to respect that. But even within that, if there are going to be several houses on a street that need to have the work done, I'd like to organize that such that we do it all at once, as opposed to keep coming back and one-offing the board for these requests. So hopefully, as you guys talked about that, that's part of the coordination that you're referring to, and that they will come back and have one package that says, for this given road, there are X number of these that need to be done, and that's all part of one single proposal.
We have the same ambition. However, we have not been provided with a list of all the locations in town that are on this 4-year service replacement program. So when we get that, then we can have a look and see, and then we can try and do some coordination. But they indicated that they need to do some data massaging themselves to produce that list. And as of yet, we haven't received that. We will definitely follow through, particularly as we start to shape up next year's program later on this fall and winter. They did not get the timetable as to when they would provide that information. So we'll have to follow up and press them on that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you following up on this request and getting us to this outcome. If you just would please keep us apprised as to, where that request is in terms of, them following through on their end. I know I would appreciate that.
We will do that.
All right. Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
All right, great. Any other questions or comments for Carl on this item?
If I can go, it's David.
Please, David.
I'm just the gas company identified this as an issue they wanted to deal with. I think and they were gonna go forward with it, but for our, denial of the ability to open up the road. I guess they're backing off now, but what I might suggest is that, we send a letter to each of the homes that have been discussed, explain the situation to them, and see if they are comfortable with waiting till the moratorium is over, or whether they would prefer to have the gas company take care of it now. If we could do that, that would be great, and then go forward. I mean, they've identified this. For some reason, they're now, backing off. And this is Columbia Gas. This is a company that's just, they're a terrible company. They're incompetent at best. And if they identify this as a problem, then it's a problem. So let's get them to get these high pressure gas lines out of these houses and outside where they belong. The amount of gas, there's so much more gas on that other side of that regulator. And when it breaks inside a home, the house doesn't even catch fire. The gas pressure builds up so much, the building just disintegrates. It just breaks into tiny pieces. So these people have a right to, know what's going on and then decide if they want to contact the gas company and say, put me back on that list, get this gas high pressure line out of my house. And I would suggest that the board or the staff send a letter to each of those homeowners.
Okay, thank you, David. And I think it's worth discussing, Carl. That's something that we can talk about further and discuss with Jim. And also to Jim O'Neill's point, that we may need to, and to David's point as well, we may need to follow up as a board. So however we can assist you with that, Carl, please do let us know in our letter writing capacities, whatever we can offer. We're definitely on board with that. So.
Yeah, I would just say if the board is not going to do it, I'll do it. I'll contact each one of them and tell them what's going on.
Thanks, David. Any other comment on this item?
Mr. Chair, may I ask you a question? If the general sentiment of the board is that we're not comfortable in denying the requests, then do you want to grant the request?
No, we've been through this enough. I think it's the third meeting now where we've discussed it. So, Jim Johnson and I can get with you, Carl, take a look at this list, look at the names that are there, and decide on the prudent way forward. And David, will loop you in as well as we go forward with that to see how we want to proceed with the couple of homes that were on the list. All right. Thank you very much, Carl. I appreciate you being on again for these two items tonight. So we'll move to the next set of appointments, being that the time is after 7:10 p.m. We have a vote on the change of manager for Wines and More Walpole to Matthew Benoit. I think, Matthew, we have you there?
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm well, how are everybody today?
Good, thanks, good. I apologize for the bit of a delay there, moving some items around on the agenda, but thank you for hanging with us. So great. And so it appears that all the paperwork is in order for this. Aoife, we're all set with this application. Jim Johnson. Oh, you're muted, Jim.
Sorry about that. This is vetted, and thank you for asking. I know Aoife worked with them on this. Aoife,
Yes.
There's nothing really we missed on this one, right? Actually, I don't think she has a microphone, so I think we're all set. She'd come in and tell me if we're not.
The paperwork.
Aoife just popped in. Her mic's not working. She said we're all set.
Great. Thank you, Aoife and Patrick and Jim. Any questions or comment from the board on the paperwork or the change here?
I'll make a motion to approve the change from managers for wines and more to Matthew Benoit.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second. Being that there is no further discussion, we'll move to our roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben? Aye. Motion passes 5-0-0. So thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you being on tonight. Best of luck.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you.
All right. Yeah. Very good. All right. Next item we have here is for the Adams Farm Committee. And we have Mr. Belcher. Yep, I see you there. So welcome. Oh,
Good evening.
I see you're unmuted. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good, good. Thank you for joining us. So what we usually do here, Mr. Belcher, is we go through, the Adams Farm Committee appointment process. We've seen the application here. If you could just say a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in volunteering here for the Adams Farm Committee. Certainly, we're all very thankful for you stepping forward and putting your hat in the ring for this. If you could go ahead, then we'll just open it up to the other board members for questions or comments. So please.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm a longtime resident of Walpole. Went to Boyden School, went to East Junior High, went to Walpole High School. I've spent a lot of time in the town, mostly in the outdoors. I spent a lot of time in the town forest. And I used to race mountain bikes and rode my bicycle in the Adams Farm property and adjoining properties for probably the past 15 years. I'm very interested in the property. I'm a good friend of Jack Wiley's. I've known him for 50 years probably. And he, being the chairman, recommended that I should be on this board. So I thought it was a good thing to do. I'm also volunteering for the Neponset River Watershed Association. The Neponset River flows through our property in South Walpole, so I volunteer in that, and I'm recently retired, so I have a lot of spare time.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on that. Any further any questions or comments from the board? We'll just go around here. Nancy?
I'll make a motion if you'd like. I also want to say thank you, and that we have the same Walpole schooling path, Boyden to Burr Middle School, and then on to the high school. But with that being said, I'd just like to make a motion to appoint Robert Belcher to the Adams Farm Committee to fill the vacancy.
I'll second that and also say thank you for volunteering.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Being that there is none, we'll proceed with the roll call vote. Nancy?
Yes.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye, and thank you very much for volunteering. Appreciate it.
And Ben, aye. Motion passes 5-0-0. So thank you again, Mr. Belcher, and maybe we'll catch you on the mountain biking trails at Adams Farm.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you for your time. Have a good evening. All right, moving to the next item here under appointments is the introduction of Lisa Singas as the new treasurer collector. Jim Johnson, if you could give us a little background here, please.
Sure. There you are, Lisa. I'm pleased to introduce Lisa Zinkas as our next treasurer collector. Lisa's worked here in the treasurer collector's office as the assistant treasurer collector for just about 2 years now. She came to us from Foxborough, has extensive experience working in collections department, tax collectors. It's really been a seamless transition here. Maryland's been able to train her on how we do things in Walpole versus what they did over in Foxborough. I think Lisa's caught on very quickly, and she's happy to be working here. I'm happy to have her. I know Jody's happy to have her, as is Marilyn. This is kind of a different structure than what we've done in the past, because in the past, you may recall that about three or so years ago, we changed the charter. The charter originally called for the treasurer tax collector to be also the finance director. We made a change that allowed us some flexibility that you could either be the town accountant or treasurer tax collector. So it's kind of vague as to what the appointment authority is. It's not stated. So I just wanted to take the time to introduce Lisa to the board and just bring her forward and let you all know about the transition plan here in place. Board members, I'm not sure if you have any questions for Lisa, but she's here and I know she's prepared to answer them.
Great. Thank you, Jim, for that introduction, and welcome, Ms. Sinkus. Thank you for joining us here tonight, and congratulations. So we'll just go around here to each of the board members. Actually, Ms. Sinkus, if you'd like to say a quick something about yourself and about the position, that would be wonderful.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. It's been a great almost 2 years working for the town of Walpole. I've learned so much. Actually, even though I have 20 years of experience before I got here, every town is different. So it's been great. I have worked with Jody in Foxborough many years ago, so we have a great rapport and a great working relationship. So I'm really excited about working with her in the future. Everybody has been great here, and I've met a lot of the Walpole residents, and I look forward to meeting more. They're all great people, and I'm excited to start a new adventure here as a treasurer collector.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much again, and congratulations. Any further comment or questions from the board, Nancy?
No, just welcome. Congratulations.
Mark?
I'd say the same things. Congratulations. I've heard good things about you. I know you've been here for 2 years, so you really understand what's happening, and I think you'll do a great job.
Thank you very much.
David?
Congratulations. No further comment.
Thank you.
And Jim?
Yeah, and congratulations from me as well, Lisa. And I also have heard very good things about you. I'm very pleased that we are promoting from within. That's really good for a lot of reasons. And so congratulations. I also would say that in your cover letter, I appreciated the commentary that you had around working relationships and the need to work together as a team, not only in the office of the treasurer, but also broadly across the town hall. So just wanted to say how much I appreciated that. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, and you're welcome. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you again for joining us tonight.
So Ben, the other item here is I'm looking for the board to affirm my decision to appoint Jody Cuneo as a finance director, town accountant. I believe all of you know Jody. She's been here since 2012. She is excellent. We're lucky to have someone like her working in the town. Before coming to Walpole, Jody worked in Foxborough as the assistant treasurer as the assistant accountant. So per section 4.3 of the town charter, I'm requesting that the board affirm my decision to appoint Jody Cuneo as a finance director for the town of Walpole effective November 2nd, 2020. And Ben, if you don't mind, I think Jody might have a few words to say.
Yeah. Hi, Jody. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Well, as Jim said, I've been here for about 8 years, and I was in Foxborough prior to that. And yes, Lisa and I worked very, very close together. We're a great team. I know I'm bragging, but we're a great team. I'm actually, this is the next progression in my career, and this is really where I want to go. And I really look forward to it. I'm confident that I can do the job and do it well. I'm looking forward to working with all of you more closely than I have in the past. So I think that's it. Do you have any questions for me?
Fantastic. Nancy, please.
Before I make a motion, I just wanted to say that you've been a part of an amazing team for the last 8 years, and you guys have gotten so much done. Unbelievable. And I'm excited for you, and I'm looking forward to see how it will continue to be amazing. And you're going to have a little bump here for a couple of years probably with everything that's gone on and going on. But from where you brought us 8 years ago to how much we've accomplished over these last few years, I have so much confidence in you. And I know that, you'll be amazing. And thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you very much.
So with that being said, I'll make a motion to ratify with great excitement the decision of the town administrator to appoint you, Jody, as finance director effective November 2nd, 2020.
I'll second that, and I'll also comment that I've really enjoyed working with you over the years. You've always done a good job of keeping us on the straight and narrow and helping us understand what the issues are and, getting things right the first time. So I really appreciate that and really look forward to you as the finance director as well.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that.
So we have a motion and a second. Jim O'Neill, please.
Yeah, and Jody, congratulations. This is well deserved. You have been here for 8 years and done a phenomenal job along with the rest of the finance team. And particularly at this time and place, I think continuity is important. So there will be major challenges ahead of us over the next couple of years. We're going to have to work hard through that. You're exactly the right person to help lead us in that effort, given your past history. And I have had a chance to work with you on a couple of occasions and have been very, very impressed. Once again, I'm pleased that we're promoting from within. And again, congratulations and thanks for everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you, Jim, and thank you.
All right, so we'll proceed with the roll call vote. Nancy?
Yes.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim O'Neill?
Aye.
Ben, aye. Motion passes 5-0-0.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your support throughout the years and in the future as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Congratulations again. So we're not quite, I don't see Jack Fisher on here quite yet. So we'll move into new business. And item number 2 under new business for this evening is a vote to declare the DPW equipment as surplus. Jim Johnson?
Sure. We have 3 items on here. Rick was working in coordination with Tom Perchicani, our vehicle equipment maintenance director. So 3 items here. It's a 2005 F-250 pickup truck, a Leroy compressor. It's a 1988, and a 2003 sedan that was an old cruiser, a Crown Vic. So what I'm asking for the board to do is to declare these items surplus so we can work with the auction company that we've been using the past few years to get the most value for it and sell them off.
I'll make a motion to approve and declare the DPW equipment as mentioned as surplus as requested by the town administrator.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Being that there is none, proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim O'Neill?
Aye.
Ben? Aye. 5-0-0. Motion passes. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
And do we have Rick Madsen on here? Oh, yep. I see you there. So item number 3 under new business is a vote to approve proposed snowplow rates as presented by Mr. Rick Madsen, the Director of Public Works.
Just to give you a little bit of background on this one, Ben, and then Rick can jump in.
Yeah.
Rick and his team came to me mid-September and asked about the snow plowing rates. A few years back, Drew and his team decided to advertise on the message board. I'm sure you've seen it outside of Conrad's in that parking lot. All the area towns caught on to that idea, and it's become really competitive in here in the Norfolk County. So Rick asked me, he said, listen, our rates are at the bottom end. We don't want to be there, and looking for contractors to come in. Can we bump them up? And I see the value in that. We got to keep the roads open with the larger pieces of equipment, especially. So Rick did a survey of the surrounding towns, and his recommended rates here brings us up to the average of the other towns. So we're no longer at the bottom end. Rick, anything to add?
No, Jim, that's basically it. The intent here is to stay somewhat competitive with the surrounding communities. I don't know as if we've lost anybody to other towns, but if you just look at Norwood's rates, I would suspect that if we don't move on this quickly, we're probably going to lose some to Norwood and most likely Sharon. If you look at the Mansfield rates, there's no way that we can compete with Mansfield, and nor do I wish to compete with Mansfield. But some of these snowplow contractors have come to us and not asked for the increase, but have conveyed their concerns about the levels of insurance, the wear and tear on their equipment. Fuel's not so much an issue right now because of the pricing is relatively low, but it's something that I feel that we should do. These are nominal increases, in my opinion. The vast majority of our equipment is within the first 6 tiers, in the 6-wheel range. Over the course of those categories, the average increase is about 6.5%. So I think it's a good thing for the town, and it'll help us to stay competitive.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed snow rates as presented, and to make a comment. There's an awful lot of nurses that work in this town, and we drive in all of the weather. And from town to town, we can tell a difference of plowing. And, when the weather's bad, this is important, and I don't want us to lose our plow people.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Jim O'Neill?
Just a quick one. When was the last time we adjusted the rates?
The rates were last adjusted for the 2017, 2018 snow season.
Great. Thank you, Rick.
Any other discussion from the board?
Yeah, I'd just like to make one comment. I remember a couple of years ago, we had a bad storm that was one of the few times Public Works that the roads weren't quite up to snuff. And one of the issues, if I recall, on that particular storm was that there was a lack of availability of some of these contractors. And so they're clearly necessary. It's clearly we need to keep them, and it's clear that, the rates from we were off target on the rates, and we, and I hope that, this is able to maintain these guys that are doing it now, because they do a good job and they know this town. So I hope they'll stay on. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Yeah, and I would add, it certainly is a situation where you get what you pay for. A 2% increase year over year for 3 years is not huge, and it's certainly a public safety issue, right? I mean, that's what Nancy was alluding to in her comments. So it's something that we need to pay attention to. So thank you, Rick, for coming on tonight and walking us through this. So we'll proceed. We have a motion and a second. We'll proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim O'Neill?
Aye.
And Ben, aye. The motion passes 5-0-0. Thank you again, Rick.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. Next, we have a discussion to allow the existing extension of premises and also any new applications to stay in place until 60 days after the end of the state of emergency. This goes kind of with item 6, I guess. Jim Johnson with the vote to approve the extension of lease agreements for a couple of items. But
Yes.
with number 5, is there anything else that you'd like to expand upon this?
No, just we want to bring everyone up to speed and make sure everyone's on the same page. Originally, this was supposed to expire, I think, November 1st. So we just want to extend this.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. And so I guess we'll make a vote on it. Nancy, if you have a motion.
I'll make a motion to allow all existing extensions of premise and any new applications to stay in place until 60 days after the end of the state of emergency or otherwise revised by the governor, unless sooner revoked or suspended as deemed necessary by a building, fire, DPW on grounds of public safety.
I'll second that.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second. Any further comment from the board on this item? Being that there is none, we'll proceed with our roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim O'Neill?
Aye.
Ben, aye, 5-0, the motion passes. Then as it number 6, yeah, go ahead, Jim, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the extension of lease agreements with several restaurants to stay in place until after the 60 days of the state emergency. Otherwise revised by the governor unless sooner revoked, suspended, or deemed necessary by building, fire, DPW, grounds for public safety. And those lease agreements are with Jalapenos, Conrad's, Raven's Nest. And is there another one? Is Bristol in there? Oh, or that's a private, so we don't have that. Okay, never mind. Just the ones I mentioned.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board?
The only discussion that I'd like to offer is that I'm really proud of the town. I'm really proud of the department heads, all realizing, what a financial and health predicament this all is, and how hard they've all just, stepped out of the box, and we've really worked together with these businesses to help keep them going.
Yeah, well said, Nancy. I agree. It has been an excellent effort on the side of the town to make all of this happen. We'll proceed with our roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye. The motion passes 5-0. All right. Mr. Jack Fisher has joined us. So we'll move to the last item under appointments, which is a discussion on the classification hearing. Welcome, Mr. Fisher. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be here. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and to go over again the process that we're going to be going through to get to a final certified tax rate. One of the key steps in that, as you know, is every year in November we have a classification hearing. It's a joint hearing between the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Assessors, where we provide you data and make a recommendation, and then you take a vote on whether you want what you want to do in terms of a dual tax rate. And if you assume, and I assume that you will do that because you've done it for the last 20 plus years, and then what you're looking for the shift from residential to commercial industrial properties. We've tentatively set that date of November 10th. All right, and it's something that you need to be aware of for your planning, because there's a very rigorous set of steps that we have to go through before we can actually have that meeting and bring it to a successful conclusion. We have to have a public disclosure period of 14 days prior to that. We have to have certified certified values before you can actually take that vote. And so we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we've worked with the state to make sure that we have all the paperwork in place, everything done that has to get done. And what our plan is, as usual, is to provide you with the draft package, the full draft package, 2 weeks in advance. And we have an open offer that however you would like to review that in advance, if you want to do it in a workshop fashion, if you do want to do one-on-one sessions with either the board or with Dennis Fliss, our Director of Assessing, that's perfectly okay. But what we would ask is that you be prepared to discuss that and take a vote on November 10th. And the reason for that is if we delay much after that, it becomes very difficult to get everything done that has to get done so we can get tax bills sent out on January 1st. It's a kind of a rigorous process that we have to go through to get to that particular point. So anything that we can do to make it easier for you to become familiar with the information and to feel comfortable to discuss it and to vote on it on the 10th, just let us know. We'll be glad to do it. but just please be prepared to make that decision on the 10th. There's always the possibility that there may be delays from the state in either certifying our values or our delays getting up to that particular point, and there's nothing we can do about that, but we're working as hard as we can to make sure that the information is provided to the state well in advance. So that's all I had to say. I just want to just kind of put everybody on notice that we're pointing towards November 10th. We'll post the public hearing notice. We'll do the period of public disclosure, and then whatever we can do to help you get prepared, please let us know. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. I appreciate that for sure. And we'll go around here and we'll touch on everybody. But I just wanted to say that we very much appreciate you coming here tonight to go through this with us. But last year being my first year on the select board, I found the package of information that you put together for the board incredibly helpful and useful. And I know that I had sat down with Dennis a couple of times to go through a few items and a few pages within that. But it's really set out very well. And I think it's a really useful document for anybody who's looking to understand this process. It is relatively straightforward, but it's not simple. And so I really appreciate you providing all of that information in advance and all of the legwork that you all do to make that possible. So Nancy, I see you had your hand up there, please.
Yes, this is a topic that usually kind of goes up and down, and when people want to talk about it or not talk about it, or make it a bigger thing. My thought would be that maybe you could send out an invite to each of the EDC members to see if they have questions or concerns or wanted to weigh in as soon as you can to get some information back, and then kind of go from there. I'm comfortable with not having an extra meeting about this and getting your recommendation. We have done this quite a few years in a row now, but as far as if the EDC wanted to meet with you guys and have some discussions or something like that, I don't know if you'd like to do that, reach out to them.
We'll make sure that we do. We usually talk to them anyway, but we'll make sure that they're well aware of it and what the date is. And if they have any questions in advance, we'll be happy to answer them. And then I believe normally at least one member of the EDC comes at the classification hearing, but we'll make sure that they're notified.
Super.
Great. Jim O'Neill, any comment or questions?
No, other than to agree that it's a good idea, Nancy's idea, a good idea to get the EDC engaged. That's what they're there for, and but nothing beyond that. Yeah.
Great. And David, any questions or comments?
All set, thanks.
And Mark Gallivan.
Jack, I'd just say thanks for all your hard work and the hard work of your board. I'm looking forward to reviewing the package, and personally, if I have any questions, I'll reach out to either you or Dennis. So I think that'll work for me.
That's fine.
Great. Yeah, and if there's any additional questions from folks on the board, we can handle it. Reach out to myself or reach out to Jack, or anybody watching, anybody at home or a resident, feel free to reach out to myself with questions about how that process works. So thank you again, Jack, for joining us tonight. I look forward to hearing from you here in the future.
Thanks for your time. I do appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. All right, the next item of business is number 7 under new business, which is a discussion to offer Section 12 licensees a 25% reduction on 2021 license renewals.
Mr. Chairman.
Please.
So a couple of months ago, Aoife brought this to my attention, and I think everything you said under item 6 still applies here. We want to try to help these businesses out however we can. Just looking to see what other towns have done, we were able to find out that Acton, Barnstable, Edgarmont, Ware, Wayland, Weymouth, New Bedford have all offered a 25% reduction. A few others have gone higher than that. As far as revenues, something I'm always interested in, we bring in approximately $61,000 a year as a result of these fees. By waiving the 25% figure, that'll knock it down to $46,000. That's not going to break our budget, but it could help some other people out. So I'm asking the board to consider this matter at this time. I'll take any questions.
I'll move into a motion. I'll make a motion to offer section 12 licenses at a 25% reduction on the 2021 liquor license renewal if requested, and all rates will revert to original fee amount after the 2021 renewals are complete. And then I just did want to add that FU, like, what a wonderful idea. None of us on the board thought of it. You brought it to Jim, and very impressed. You're the newest member on our team, and we're lucky to have you. Thanks.
I'll second that.
Well put. Thanks, Nancy. So we have a motion and a second. Any further comment or discussion from the board?
I just have a question. What are the current rate? What do they pay?
Just
I can answer that. Do you have it, Jim? Or I can answer it if you want.
In front of me here.
Okay.
Eva, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So what would be considered is the all alcohol licenses, which is 2,200 for renewals, wine and beer, which is 1,100, and then the club licenses, which are 990.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, David. So we'll proceed to the roll call vote. We have a motion and a second. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye, and thank you, Aoife.
And Ben, aye. The motion passes 5-0-0. Moving to number 8 under new business, is there a vote to sign the agreement between the town of Walpole and W.R. Grace and Company and Covidian concerning the access to Blackbird and Union Privileged Superfund site?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I know Melissa's on here. Let me give a brief introduction. I'll hand off to her.
Great.
This came in at the request of Grace and Covidian just to more or less close this project out. This is something that Robin had worked on years ago, but never was finalized. So they brought it to our attention. Council's reviewed this, worked with Melissa and myself on it. They've reviewed and vetted it, so they are comfortable with it. Melissa, anything much to add on this one?
No, I think you covered everything, Jim. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer anything.
Okay, great. Hi, Melissa. Thank you for joining us tonight. Is there any further discussion or comment from the board? Nancy?
Nope. I'll make a motion to sign the agreement between the town of Walpole and the W.R. Grace and Company, Connecticut, and Covidian LP concerning continued access to the Blackburn and Union Privileges Superfund site.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or comment from the board? Being that there is none, proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye. The motion passes 5-0-0. Thank you again, Melissa, for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
And moving on to number 9 under new business is a vote to ratify the decision of the board to direct the town administrator to send a letter to the Norfolk County Commissioners regarding a 90-day extension on the offer to lease the land. Now, this is something that you'll all remember we spoke about at previous meetings because the vote was not on the agenda. I believe it was David who requested that we place it on the agenda for the next meeting in order to ratify the letter. The letter was sent on behalf of the board as we agreed, and so we will take a vote to ratify that decision tonight.
So before I make a motion, I did just want to comment that I have gotten plenty of emails, and I just wanted to clarify that, and I'm not sure if there is some misdirection or something, but from the very beginning, I am not in support of the county using this land for a solar farm. I have never been in support of it. I'm sorry, I would love to answer everybody's email. I just can't with my work schedule and my children's schedules. But to just be very clear, our board, the town of Walpole, is not supporting this. We're not requesting it. We haven't been involved in how it happens and what is going to happen there. You know, we're just being told that that is the plan that they were doing and that is the way that they were moving. We looked for and requested for help to find creative ways to make this not happen. So just in case somebody new is watching and didn't know that, I just wanted to put it out there. So that being said, I will make a motion to ratify, and I'm sorry to speak on behalf of everybody if you wanted to clear that up afterwards, but I have assumed we've all been sort of on the same page. But anyway, I will make a motion to ratify the decision of the board to direct the town administrator to send a letter to the Norfolk County Commissioners regarding the 90-day extension request.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comment from the board?
I'd like to just comment for a moment, if I may.
Yeah, please, David, go ahead.
First of all, I didn't think anybody on this board expressed any support for this project, and certainly not Ms. McKenzie. I saw her as opposing it from day one. And I also want to clarify, it was actually Ms. McKenzie's idea to ratify the previous, ratify this in today's motion. So, yeah, I think Ms. McKenzie certainly, correctly expressed what I understood to be her opinion before, and I think correctly assessed the opinion of the board. Thanks.
Thank you, David. So we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye. Motion passes 5-0. The last item tonight under new business, number 10, is the vote to sign the November 3rd, 2020 state election warrant.
I will make a motion to sign the November 3rd, 2020 state election warrant.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Being that there is none, we'll continue with the roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. And actually, I'm remiss to say that I intended at the top of this meeting to speak briefly on what an incredible job our town clerk, Liz Gaffey, and her staff have been doing with these elections kind of coming hot and heavy here, certainly in September, and then another one coming a month from now, and the efforts that they've all put in. So Jim Johnson, if you could just convey to, from us at the board level to Liz and her team, what a phenomenal job they're doing. And to all the the folks who man the polls as well. It's a fantastic effort. They've really been doing a great job. And
I'll certainly pass that along.
Yeah, thank you. All right, and the consent agenda?
I will make a motion to accept with gratitude the following donations. The Moms Club of Walpole to Recreation Program Scholarships, $200. The Walpole Pharmacy to the Council on Aging gifts, $100. Ellen Redfield to the Council on Aging gifts, and Joanne Mulligan to the Council on Aging gifts, $100. Everybody, thank you very much, but I'm sorry, I just have to give an extra little shout out to Joanne Mulligan. She is a woman who does nothing but give endlessly, kindly, and she just deserves that. That's my motion.
I'll second that.
Did we miss one at the end or no? Maybe I missed it.
They said 4. I have 4 listed. Did you have another one?
There's 5 on the agenda.
Oh.
Sorry, there's one added on the agenda, just not on the motion sheets. from.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to add Mick Morgan's to community policing for $425. I was looking at my old one.
The test. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Being that there is none, we'll proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
And I want to just reiterate what Nancy just said about Joanne Mulligan. Joanne, thank you. You're a great person. We're lucky to have you here. Thank you.
And Ben, aye. The motion passes 5-0-0. We move to the town administrator's update.
I'm sorry, can I just add in the motion for the minutes?
Oh, yeah, please.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from September 1st and September 15th, 2020.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any comment from the board? Being that there is none, we'll proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
And Ben, aye. The motion passes 5-0-0. Jim Johnson?
Sure, just a couple of things to close out the agenda. Corona update. At this time, there's 324 total confirmed cases here in Walpole. 316 of those cases have completed monitoring. That leaves us with 8 current active cases. For town meeting, we're just about ready to go for town meeting on October 17th. It's a Saturday at 10 a.m. on the high school football field. The Finance Committee, their public hearing will be held on Tuesday, October 13th at 6 p.m. Any interested residents who want to participate in the meeting should email me at jjohnson@walpole-ma.gov, and we'll forward them the link to participate. The select board meeting next week. As you know, we added the extra meeting this week. Right now, we don't have anything really on the agenda that we didn't address tonight. So Ben, I'll touch base with you come Thursday because we need to post the agenda by Thursday with the holiday to figure out if a meeting next week is necessary. But again, I'll touch base with you. Planning board public hearing is Wednesday, October 14th at 7 p.m. With the rain date of the 15th on the high school tennis courts for the zoning articles, the inclusionary zoning, outdoor dining, South Walpole parking, and the zoning overlay district, which is actually going to be referred back to petitioner. And shared streets grant award. The board was notified that we actually received a grant for $15,100 for the shared streets grant. Ashley worked hard to apply for that to go further with the street furniture, outdoor heating, hand sanitizing stations, some planters, some attractive lighting to help the businesses out down there. So we're pleased to announce that. Halloween, we're adhering to the DPH's guidance on this one. They circulated something last week that basically said wear a mask, observe good hygiene, refrain from touching your face, maintain social distancing, etc. In the presidential election, Liz is working on this as we speak. Early voting will run Saturday, October 17th to Friday, October 30th here at Town Hall. Mail-in ballots, we received them on Friday and Monday. Early ballots have started to go out. And with that, I actually just thought of one thing while I was giving this update. The South Street solar overlay, your board voted favorable action on that one. And the petitioner withdrew that item. So if it's not too late, Ben and the rest of the board, I'd like to recommend that you refer back to petitioner on that one. So they wanted some more time to get all their ducks in a row. So if there's no questions, I'd ask that the board take that action since it's on the agenda.
I'll make a motion to reconsider our previous vote on Article 25.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any further comment or discussion from the board? Being that there is none, we'll proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Ben, aye. Motion passes 5-0-0.
I'll make a motion to refer Article 25 back to committee or petitioner.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Being that there's no further discussion, we'll proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
And Ben, aye. The motion passes 5-0-0. Thank you, Jim. Anything else for your update?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. And I would add a big thanks to Ashley Clark, the community planning director, for going after those funds in that grant. I know that she had aimed for the moon, and we had worked together on some big chunks that didn't work out. But we still were able to get some funds that will help downtown businesses and make a difference down there. So a big thank you to her for all of her hard work put towards that effort. Any other items of business from the board members tonight? Being that there isn't, I would hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Being that there's no further discussion, we'll proceed with a roll call vote. Nancy?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
And Ben, aye. Motion passes 5-0-0. We are adjourned. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.